Okay, so welcome once again to everyone who joined us to this evening's webinar. Although I say this evening, I think it's around 11 a.m. in France still. So okay, we have people coming in. We'll be just letting them in slowly. So I am Paulo from Campus France, and just before we get to the meat of the presentation, I'd just like to explain what our role is. So Campus France is the higher education sector under the French Embassy in the Philippines, and our mission is essentially to make higher education and research as accessible to Filipino and international students. And part of that mission is organizing information sessions, webinars such as this one, where we feature, in this case, programs that are taught in English in French schools, because that's a stereotype that we're trying to break. And on that note, we actually have uh, some tidbits of information that we wanted to share. So we at the French Embassy offer a scholarship program every year. And as you can see, we have at least 9 students. You have master students in nuclear and electrical engineering, and you have a handful of students in PhDs as well. You have molecular genetics, neurosciences. One of our scholars last year is now taking a pharmacy-related program at Paris-Saclay as well. So before I give the floor to our wonderful speakers from Paris-Saclay, I'll just be briefly flashing this. So we have a webinar next year on January 13, where we will be explaining the scholarship program that allowed these students to pursue their respective study programs in France. It was formerly called the Phil France Scholarships, but it will be sort of reborn into the France Excellence Philippines program. We will tackle everything that you have to know, questions about the scholarship, how to find and apply to eligible programs, both at the master's and PhD level. Everything will be covered on January 13. That's 5:30 p.m. So it's free. Make sure you follow us on Facebook just so you can receive the notification about the Facebook Live, which we will be sending prior to our webinar. So with that being said, I'd like to give the floor to our presenters, Elena and Celine. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Perfect. Okay, so I'll present briefly myself. My name is Alina Bogdanova, and I'm the International Projects Manager at Paris-Saclay University. I'll let my colleague Celine present herself.
And I am Céline Verag, and I work also at the International Affairs of Paris-Saclay University as a scholarship manager.
Great. Yes, so I'd like to thank, first of all, Campus France for organizing this webinar and giving us opportunity to present our university to Filipino students who will be delighted to welcome at our university. So I'll show my screen now. I hope everything works well. You tell me if it's not. Okay, so without any further ado, I'll start with our presentation. So today we'll present Paris-Saclay University. Then we will also give you some ideas of the master programs that are taught in English at our university, because there are many of them, but we will take some of them to show you. We will also talk about the scholarship programs that exist at our university in case you want to come and you want to get funded by some of the scholarship programs that exist. And then we will also talk about the integration services that exist at our university, because it's never easy to come to another country to study. So we'll show you what kind of assistance we also propose at our university. So Paris-Saclay University is a collective project which benefited from the French government funding, which is called Investment for Future, among with other French sites. So the specificity of Paris-Saclay University is that many universities and establishments that were already some national reference points even relocated to Paris-Saclay, to the research site. And so now we work together under the name of Paris-Saclay University. So currently we represent 10 academic faculties for Grande École. Grande École is a very French concept, which is something close to schools of excellence that specialize in some particular fields. We also have 2 associate universities within our university that each have their specializations and their points of excellence. Okay, so all this has brought us to this figure. So currently we have 48,000 students. You can already see some key figures, so I'll present just some of them. We also have 8,000 researchers and academic staff at our university, and all this together with the laboratories and our history has brought us to 13% of French research. So we represent 13% of French research. And currently, we are the 12th according to the academic ranking of world universities. So we were honored to be ranked the 12th according to Shanghai Ranking. And we are especially strong in mathematics and physics, so the second in the world and the third in the world, and accordingly. So although our university is called Paris-Saclay University, we are not physically located in Paris-Saclay, in Paris. So the majority of the faculties and the universities and institutions, they are located in the south of Paris. So it's something like 30 kilometers away from Paris. And it's well connected with the public transportation system. And since it was a big French government project, there are also a lot of funding and investment in developing this infrastructure. So currently there are a few metro lines being built as well, and we are all waiting for their opening. But it's already quite well connected, and it's a sort of a research hub. We also have some faculties in Paris, but actually it's quite crucial to understand if you want to come to study at our university, because it also implies that the housing is slightly lower. The pricing, I mean, is slightly lower. Probably you already know that housing in Paris is quite overpriced, so it's quite difficult to find it. So at our area, it's a bit easier. And yes, there are also lots of academic infrastructure, but you'll be a bit further from Eiffel Tower. So that's also quite important to understand. And so one of the other strengths of Paris-Saclay University is that we are ranked among the top 8 world innovation clusters, thanks to thousands of companies that are present at Paris-Saclay, and also hundreds of research laboratories at headquarters, something like Thales or Danone and some other huge companies. So our university is a multidisciplinary university. So according to your interests, you can find lots of academic offers. So our academic offer is organized, especially at the master level. The master level, it's organized by the graduate schools. So the master programs that are taught at different institutions and faculties at Paris-Saclay, they are organized by the graduate schools. So you can see that we have 17 graduate schools and 1 institute, something varying from computer science to law, life sciences, and health. So there's a big academic offer. And since Campus France has told us that actually you will be more interested in master studies, so we'll presented some information targeting some master programs. So currently we have 210 tracks of Master 1 programs and 360 tracks of Master 2 programs. So maybe you already know that in France, the master program, the master degree is divided in 2 levels. So you have Master 1 and Master 2. You're not obliged to take a 2-year program, but if you want to have a master degree, you need to have 120 European credits, and for this you need to take 2 years of studies. But you can join either at Master 1 or Master 2. It's really up to you. And we also have 74 master tracks fully taught in English. And there is a wonderful catalog of courses that is available on Campus France website. I also added a quick QR code and also the link in case you want to check it out, because it's quite useful. And recently this summer, the University Paris-Saclay was cyber attacked, and we lost a lot of information. And even for us, Campus France website was quite a big help. So it's a really great source for getting an overview of our master programs taught in English. So today we'll rather focus on 2 fields of research, key fields of research, life sciences and science in engineering. And we will start with engineering and physics and some master programs that are taught there. So I will not get into detail because, of course, in case you want to apply for these master programs, you will need to get more information on this. But just to give you a quick overview, for example, we have international track in electrical engineering, and it provides a wide range of courses in electrical engineering as computer, robotics, artificial intelligence, science, and lots of other courses. So if you want to enter this master program, you need to have already an undergraduate degree specializing in computer science, electronic engineering, mathematics, and physics. There is a list of other master programs taught in English, for example, Advanced Wireless Communication Systems, Energy International Track, and many more others. In case you want also to study general physics, we also have a 2-year master program that specializes in fundamentals in physics. So you, once graduated, you'll be ready to work in research career or work in industrial or public research laboratory. And so this is one of the master programs. And we also have something which is called Erasmus Mundus programs. I don't know if you're already familiar with this concept, but Erasmus Mundus is a prestigious jointly taught master programs that were created by several universities all around the world, but quite often the European universities. So, for example, here you can see an Erasmus Mundus program that is called La Scala. It stands for Large Scale Accelerators and Lasers. And so the concept of Erasmus Mundus is that once you enter one university, you have an international mobility each year. So, for example, for this master program, you will start at Paris-Saclay University and you will study fundamentals and methods in this field. And then you can go to Lund or to Lund University in Sweden or to La Sapienza in Rome. So it really depends on what you'd like to study. And once you graduate from this master program, you will have either one degree or several degrees, master degrees. So it's quite a good chance for those who are ready to move around Europe and studying. And yes, it always includes quite often it includes some management aspects, some summer schools. There's quite often an obligatory 6 months internship or master thesis, and sometimes it costs a bit higher than other master programs, but there are also Erasmus Mundus scholarships available that finance most of your studies. I also added master in nuclear energy because currently we are trying to develop a cooperation project with one of the Filipino companies that want us to fund to finance the studies of their workers because they want to improve the competences and the skills in nuclear energy to build nuclear energy in Philippines. So in case you want also to study nuclear energy, you can also come to us. This is a wonderful master program that is taught and organized by several institutions, top level universities in France, and it's in Paris particularly, and it's quite closely connected with the industry, for example, EDF and other top companies. Okay, so then we can move to computer science. We have quite a big offer of English courses in computer science, even at undergraduate level, which is quite rare in France. So here you can see three master programs, such as artificial intelligence, big data management, analytics, human and computer interaction. So two of them are taught at 2 levels, 2 years. So these are 2-year master programs. Big data management and analytics is only available at the 2nd year of masters. And according to your interest, you may join one of these programs. So then we can move to Biosphere and chemistry. So here I'll present you another Erasmus Mundus program. So this one is called CERP, and it's a chemistry, physical chemistry, and material science program. And it was created by 4 universities initially, and then McGill University, that is located in Canada, also joined this master program. And yes, the same principle, the same organization. So at first you start at Paris-Saclay University. Then, according to your specialization, you may go to Poznan to Poznan University, there, or you can go to Porto University, and so on. You move to different universities, and eventually you graduate with a few master degrees. So another Erasmus Mundus joint master degree specializes in food innovation and product design. And so in this master program, you have 4 top-ranking European universities, Université Paris-Saclay and Agro-Paris-Tech. So Agro-Paris-Tech is one of the Grande Écoles that I presented before, specializing in environment and agriculture. So there is also Technological University of Dublin, University of Naples Federico in Italy, and Lund University. So sometimes the prices, as I said previously, are quite high for Erasmus Mundus, but there are also some scholarships available. And they also have a special online application system. So at the end of this presentation, we'll tell you how to apply for these master programs. But for Erasmus Mundus, there's a special procedure. Okay, so then life sciences and health. For those who are interested in studying this, so I'll present just briefly one of the master programs that we have that is taught and organized by the Faculty of Pharmacy. This is a very international program. There are lots of nationalities present. There are students coming from all over the world. They're very active internationally, and they have a lot of also exchange programs. And so development, this program specializes on training future managers in the pharmaceutical field. So once you graduate from this master program, you can either work in industry or research laboratories. And yes, so the first year of masters is rather specialized in basic knowledge, and then if you want to continue your studies at the second year of masters, you can choose one of the three specializations. So, for example, you can already see the list here. So I think for those who are more interested in this, you can check it later. Okay, so in case you want to start, I think it would be quite interesting for you also to see what is the local and university life at Paris-Saclay University. So we have quite a big number of housing available to students. As said previously, it's quite complicated, so we try to assist our students with finding housing. We also have a big catering offer and a big transportation system, all available with one student card. And so our welcome desk assists students at every step of your studies. So before arrival, upon arrival, and during your stay at Paris-Saclay. So once you decide to come to Paris-Saclay, there is online welcome desk available. So you can receive a personalized step-to-step information. What are the must-do in case you want to come study at Paris-Saclay or in France in general. And so then there are also some pre-arrival webinars that give you some particular information, very precise information. We also have some partnerships with banks and insurance companies. So once you arrive, you may either already have a bank account or at least know where to go. And so once you arrive, there are also some arrival days organized. We also have a buddy program that brings together, that matches a local student together with an international student. So you're always assisted by a local student. We also have the gate that is available to all the students, and it gives you some assistance on administrative procedures, because administrative procedures are not easy in France. We also have the welcome desk, and it's a festive event, which is always, students have a lot of fun, and we also have a lot of fun going there, because it's something really open to everyone, and it's just, an occasion to celebrate what you've already come through to come to France. So it's also a great event. And during your stay, there are also some integration workshops in French. We also provide some free French courses because in France it's quite important to speak French. And we also have some personalized appointments in case you need some personal assistance. And you can also see the contact here on this slide. Okay, so and it's one of the most important questions, obviously, how much does it cost? The particularity of French education is that according to the French Constitution and the policy of the French government, the studies must be available and affordable to everyone. So Paris-Saclay University is a public university, and the same pricing policy applies to non-European students as to European students. And so undergraduate studies cost 175 euros per year. Master degree costs 250 euros per year. But since now we presented mainly the master programs taught in English, sometimes some international master degrees have some specific tuition fees, and they can go up to 9,000 euros. So that's why it's quite important to check each particular program. So the general rule is that it costs 250 euros per year, and then you must ask the academic coordinators of each master program how much it may cost. Okay, so now I give the floor to Celine to present some funding opportunities that exist in Paris-Saclay.
Yes, thank you, Elena. So we have two programs depending on the level of your studies at Paris-Saclay. So if you come for a master's degree, we have a scholarship called IDEX International Master's Program. scholarship program, sorry, which offers about 120 scholarships every year to incoming students, either for 1 year if you come at Master 2 level, for example, but if you come at Master 1, the scholarship will continue for the second year of your program. All disciplines and academic fields are concerned by this scholarship. So whether you are studying nuclear engineering or sociology, you are eligible to this scholarship program. The benefits are 10,000 euros per year, which are paid monthly from September to June, so 1,000 euro every month, and up to 1,000 euros to cover travel and visa expenses. So this depends on where you are coming from. It's a specific grant that is given to you on top of the scholarship. Information used to be on our website, but unfortunately, as Aliona mentioned, our website was cyber attacked. So at the moment, the link is not working, but we are hoping that by January, everything will be back in order and the links, or at least the information, will be put on our website. We have about the same scholarship program for PhD, if you are willing to come directly into PhD, or if you are willing to do your master's and then continue later on with us doing a PhD. There's a scholarship called ADI program, ADI, but this applies only to students who are doing their PhD in co-tutelle, so a jointly supervised PhD program between Paris-Saclay University and an international university, whether in the Philippines or in another country, actually. And this is in order to strengthen the development of strategic partnerships between Paris-Saclay University and other universities in the world. And there is another scholarship program called France FL Scholarship. This one is actually still open generally, but because the application takes a bit of time and it's managed by the university, the call is closed for this year at Paris-Saclay University, but should you be willing to come next year, for example, this scholarship will be open because it's open every year. And other scholarship programs are available, and you can check that on the Campus France website, the catalog called Campus Bourse. And we have our colleague from Campus France in the Philippines who also introduced a scholarship specific to the Philippines. So you have some funding opportunities to come and study with us. And now the big question that you are probably asking yourself is how to apply to these master programs and how to come and join us. So if you are willing to come for undergraduate studies, if you have an EU nationality, you would apply on the Parcoursup platform, which is a national platform for French and EU students, actually. This is open from December of the year before your studies. So right now, the platform may be open already for the intake of September 2025. If you don't have an EU nationality, which is probably the case of most of you, there is a file that you need to complete that is called Demande d'admission préalable. You can have more information on that at the Campus France office, I bet. The application is open until mid-December, same thing for the year after your application. If you are joining us for the second or third year of licence, so the undergraduate degree, the equivalent of a bachelor degree, applications must be submitted directly on our platform called eCandidat. So that is for the undergraduate level, but we guess that most of you will be joining us at the graduate level because at the undergraduate level, we don't have any program taught in English. So for the graduate studies, it's a bit more easy, I would say. You have only one application portal directly on the university website, which is called Inception. This will be open in the course of January, and as Aliona mentioned, for some masters, especially the Erasmus Mundus masters, there is a specific application platform for these master's degrees. So when you check the full offer of Paris-Saclay University, you would have to check whether your master's degree is on Inception or is not on Inception or is on Inception and on another platform. But everything is really detailed on our website. And for postgraduate studies, so for PhD level, you can apply right now already. The thesis offers are already posted on the Edum platform, so ADUM. You have on this website all the offers that are currently open with the specific deadlines to apply for each of them, and you apply on this website for each of the PhD offer that is of interest to you. And that's all I think for today.
And follow us on our social media, please.
Thank you for that interesting presentation, ladies. So, for now, I think it's best if we start receiving some questions via the chat. Feel free to send any inquiries that you might have. But to start, maybe we can tackle some of the points that were submitted by certain uh, students when they were filling out our registration form. So what I noticed here is that there were a couple of questions about PhDs. So I'm not sure if this would be the right place to ask it, but how would you advise people to find advisors if they were looking to apply to a PhD program at Paris-Saclay?
Well, maybe I will answer that question because we just talked about PhD a few seconds ago. PhD offers actually are posted on the Edum platform, the website called Edum, so ADUM. And students don't have to find a specific advisor before applying because the supervisor or the thesis will be the one who posted the offer on the website. So the first thing to do is to check this website and this platform to check the offers that are currently available, check whether the prerequisites or the expectations of the PhD program match the students' own expectations. And they can contact the supervisor of this offer whether they want to get more information or check whether their profile is suiting this PhD offer. So really, there's just a one-stop shop, which is the Edum platform.
Okay, thank you. So, just a bit of context for our colleagues at Paris-Saclay. Actually, in the Philippines, there's only one way to gain entry into a PhD program, and that is to come up with your own dissertation, something which is doable in France. But something that I discovered a couple of years ago is that there is this pathway where you can just apply to be a researcher on board a team that already has a set of topics that they'll be working on. So there are technically two ways to get into a PhD, something that we don't have in the Philippines. We have a question sent by way of the chat. Do we need a specific level of proficiency in French to be admitted? I'm guessing this is going to apply to undergraduate, master, and PhD, just so we cover all our bases.
I can take up this question. So in case your program is not in English, you're not required to have any French proficiency. It's rather important for you personally to have some survival skills to come and study in France because anyways you'll be in contact to speak French in France. When it comes to undergraduate level, it really depends on the studies you choose. So for some humanities, for humanities, in general, there is a B2 requirement. So you should have already B2 level. Yes, when it comes to PhD, I think it also depends on each advisor because it's very specific and I'm not sure that there is a university policy in this matter. Yeah. So Celine, in case you have something to add, don't hesitate.
Well, I don't have anything in particular to add, but just the general rule is that if the program is taught in English, then you are not required to speak French,
Yeah.
except the survival skills that are pretty useful in France. And of course, if the program is fully taught in French, yes, then we would expect the student to speak French. And for PhD, I would say that 90% of the PhD students speak English, whether they are French speakers or non-French speakers. Because research papers are usually published in English, and there would be at least one person in each lab who speaks English and who can advise you or help you in any matter. So at PhD level, usually French is not a requirement.
And maybe I can also add that we also, as mentioned briefly during the presentation, we also have this French courses that are available to international students. So once you come to France for 1 week at the beginning of each semester, you can take some intense courses and they're completely free and available to everyone. So in case you came without any survival skills, you may get them in the first week of your stay.
Okay, that's the beauty of higher education in France, master's and PhD, plenty more options in English. Uh, Actually, I have a follow-up to that question because English is one of two co-official languages in the Philippines. So, for instance, if someone were to apply and their transcript of records and their diploma were available in English, stating that the medium of instruction for those years of study was in fact English, do they still need to present like a TOEFL or a an IELTS certificate?
As far as I know, there are really few master programs that require TOEFL or IELTS certificate. So this is the case, for example, for the master program that I presented in the field of pharmacy, but the other programs, they rarely require this kind of documents. Yes, so I believe that especially given this particularity of the Philippines education system and the fact that it's one of the official languages, so I believe that won't be a problem. But it should be really, I think it's something that you should check up on the website, on the page of each master program, because they have some particular requirements.
Okay. We can follow that up with a question sent via the Google registration form as well. And the question is, can I take an M2 program directly, given that I graduated with a 4-year bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and I have 2 years of professional experience?
Maybe I can answer that one. It would depend really on the person in charge of the master program, actually, because this person would be the only one or part of the only ones who are able to check whether the prerequisites for the master programs are met. So if the 4-year bachelor program and the 2-year professional experience complete the prerequisites that are required of students applying to that master program, then yes, there is no need to do the M1 program, for example. But in case the prerequisites are not met, then the responsible person of the master program may say that the student would be better off, taking the Master 1 program first and then pursuing into the Master 2 program.
Okay, thank you. We have another question set by way of the chat. So, in addition to the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, as well as the France Excellence Philippines that we will be covering in another webinar in January, what are the other financing options that Filipino students can apply for?
That one has been mentioned also in the webinar. So Paris-Saclay University has its own scholarship program called IDEX, IDEX, which I am in charge of. So students for that program don't need to apply specifically to the scholarship program, but they need to apply to the master's degree in the first place. If they match the eligibility requirements, which are to be under 30 years old, to be studying in the French higher education for the first time, and not to have suspended their studies for over 3 years. The student would be put in some sort of specific list to the person that will be sent to the person in charge of the master program where they apply. This person would then check the grades of that student and decide whether the student is sufficiently excellent to be part of this excellent scholarship. And then the professor would actually be the one doing the application for the scholarship program. So actually, the first thing to do for a student interested in studying with us is to apply to the master program. And the better the grades are, the more chances they have to be selected for the IDEX scholarship program.
Okay, there's a timely question that was asked immediately after that. So, can we apply for scholarships at the same time? For instance, the IDX scholarship and the France Excellence Philippines one? I'm not sure because just to answer the question about the embassy offered scholarship, it actually cannot be cumulative with other grants from the French government. So, for instance, the Eiffel Excellence Scholarship and the France Excellence Philippines Scholarship aren't stackable. And the same goes for Erasmus programs as well. So, if you were, for instance, to gain funding from multiple sources such as those, you will have to make your choice. I'm not sure if the IDX grant is considered a BGF or Bourse de Gouvernement Français.
It's not a Bourse du Gouvernement Français because it's managed by the university's own funds, but The same thing applies actually. The scholarship is not cumulative to other scholarship programs, and especially not the FL scholarship or an embassy scholarship, for example. So you can apply to several funding programs, but the conclusion would be the same once you are awarded. If you are awarded several of them, then you have to choose which one you want to keep.
Okay, excellent response. The questions are starting to come in more frequently in the chat. Thanks to everyone for their curiosity. So one question we have is there, it's called a sandwich program in the Philippines, but I think a better translation would be a direct track from including both the master's and the PhD, especially in electrical engineering?
Yes, we call it the PhD track. It applies in electrical engineering, but in other disciplines as well. If I remember well, we have two large disciplinary areas, which are sustainable development and global health. So global health is not only medicine and pharmacy, but also sports sciences or well-being in general, or also robotics, for example. Robotics can fall into that category because you can do robotics for medical purposes, for example. So you don't see health as a health-specific program with medicine and pharmacy, but a really larger thing. But coming back to the PhD track, yes, we have something like this at Paris-Saclay University. But you cannot apply for the PhD track in the first place. Actually, you apply for a Master 1 program, and applications for the PhD track are received during the first semester of the Master 1 program. So you would actually have to apply and be selected for a Master 1 program first, and then apply to the PhD track once you are in Paris-Saclay already. And the funding, I mean, this program comes with funding as well. So let's say you are coming with an edX scholarship, for example, for the Master 1 program. You would get the edX scholarship for the Master 1 entirely, and then by way of being selected for the PhD track during the Master 1, you would be awarded a PhD track grant from the second year of master's degree until the end of a PhD program. If you came to France without a scholarship or with another scholarship than edX, you would probably also keep receiving the scholarship for the Master 1 program, and then the PhD grant would start from the Master 2 as well. And if you came with no funding at all, then the PhD track would finance your first year of Masters as well, but you would receive the money only in January or February once you are selected for the PhD track.
All right, so timing is everything, especially when it comes to funding and the application for the PhD track itself that starts in the first semester of the Master 1. We have our next question, which is something to do with the student quality of life. Hi, is it possible to take on a part-time job while doing Masters in Paris-Saclay? So it's a question that we at Campus Friends can actually answer. Students of any nationality have the right to work up to 60% of the legal workload per year. So that's just above part-time, although it is going to be preferable that you have part-time work related to the university, like for instance, a teaching or research assistant, because there have been cases of these part-time jobs offering more flexibility to the students, meaning when finals exams are approaching, you will get fewer hours of work to do, and then that's something that you can compensate for in like lower activity periods of the year. Although I will let our colleagues state if these kinds of jobs are offered to international students in Paris-Saclay as well.
Yeah, I think that there also this is one of the strengths of Paris-Saclay, that there are really a lot of companies and a lot of research laboratories present directly at the very easy accessibility to the university. So there's something that can be seen individually. And we also have the same policy. Of course, the part-time job is better to be related to the studies, otherwise it may impact the studies. And also maybe something that should be, I don't know if it's already, maybe some of you already know that all the internships are paid in France. So once you have the internship that lasts longer than 3 months, so it will be paid, and at least at the level of 600 euros. So, and your internships must be related to the field of your studies. It's not the same as the part-time job, but it gives you also some professional experience and the fact that you are paid.
Okay. Though, so there are means to finance your studies on top of any scholarships that you can avail of. There will be a next question that's a combination of two inquiries sent by way of chat. So firstly, is there an age limit for the master's and PhD programs? And when will applications open for the 2025 intake?
So there are no age limit for master or PhD programs. The only age limits apply to the scholarship programs because indeed, for example, for the edX scholarship, there is a 30 age limit, 30 years old. As for starting, no, there are no age limits. And so for 25, this is the current academic year, so the applications, they are very closed. But then if you want to study if you want to come in September 2025, then it will open on January.
January. So that's
Mhm.
timely with our webinar for our locally offered scholarship as well. Let's try to wrap up this Q&A session with one last question. This one's quite specific. So do you have a master spécialisé or alternance program in Paris-Saclay, which can apply to me, a graduate in construction management with 5 year, and who finished a 5-year program in civil engineering and having 6 years of professional experience. So something a bit out of the ordinary with the specialized master's programs.
Maybe I can answer that one because the surprise of the end of this webinar is that I used to work in another institution that is part of Paris-Saclay University, which is called Centrale Supélec. Centrale Supélec is a graduate school of engineering, and the graduates, these grandes écoles, are actually the only ones able to offer master spécialisé. Universities usually don't have this kind of programs. So Centrale Supélec does have a master spécialisé and does have one in civil engineering. I forgot the name right now, but Centrale Supélec website fortunately was not cyber attacked this summer. So information is available on Centrale Supélec website for master spécialisé, which are usually specialized master programs after completing 5 years or more of higher education, and usually people who have a specific work experience already. Maybe the only thing is that usually these programs are taught in French. So I would recommend that people check the language requirements for each program.
Okay, so
And
as a
thank you for
follow-up to
putting the link in the chat.
yeah, as a follow-up to that response, you can find the Centrale Supélec website, which I posted in the group chat. So with that, I would like to close this Q&A and the webinar as well. So thank you. Merci beaucoup. Maraming salamat po to all those who joined us for today's webinar, as well as to our two representatives, Elena and Celine from Université Paris-Saclay. We will be sharing a recording of this Zoom call with everyone who signed up for the webinar. I think there were around 40 people or so. And if it's okay with our representatives, we will include their contact details in a recap email to be sent sometime next week, if that's okay with you too. All right.
Yes.
So, okay, excellent. So with that, thank you, everyone. I know it's a Thursday, but the weekend is quickly approaching. So enjoy the last day of the week, and we hope to see you soon. Merci. Goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much.
Merci.